What's up, you guys? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I finally want to do the rest of my declutter. I recently did the declutter of my eyeshadow palettes. This is going to be more of a collection slash declutter because I did a huge declutter in the mid-year of 2024. So look at my decluttering playlist if you want to see more decluttering videos. I'm going to start with my first drawer. This is what my first drawer kind of looks like, and it's set up this way where you have complexion products. So here are your foundations and primers. Here are my mascaras. These are eyebrow products, and here are my concealers. This is my graveyard for all of the pencil sharpness that I have, and this is just kind of a catch-all, but mainly powders. And that's kind of how it's set up. It is a little bit cluttered. At the same time, I don't think it's that bad for this many categories to have in one drawer. So I'm not going to declutter just purely to declutter. A lot of this is going to just show you guys what I have in my collection. Let's start with primers. So currently I am working with 6 primers, which I think is totally doable. Let me kind of walk you through what I have over here. So I have this limited edition, only like released in Asia, primer from Chanel. This is the Rosy Glow Le Beige Creme. I don't even know. It's the same formula as their cream bronzer, but it's a rose-toned version, and I use this underneath the eyes or to cover up my pores. It's very pore blurring. It's brightening to the skin. It's so beautiful. I hit pan on it because I actually really love it. And I still have this because I use it quite consistently. So I'm going to keep this one, but this is not one you'll see on my channel a lot, purely because it's like not available and it wasn't even launched in the Western market. Then we have all of my Chantecaille Glow tints. Let me show you up close. So these are all the Chantecaille Glow tints. These are my favorite products of Chantecaille. This one is the golden version. The gold tint is new, and I purchased this. I actually reviewed all of them in one video, so if you're interested to see a review and demo, you could actually go to that video. But this is really new, and I'm keeping this, of course. I love this formulation, so I'm going to keep all of them. The bronze tint is also new. Chantecaille actually sent me this in PR because I finished mine, and this is my favorite one out of the 3. And the one I'm currently panning, this is close. You know, I'm getting really there. I really like this one underneath the eyes as well because of that rose tint. But this is the Rose Glow, so this is very brightening. Then we have these two. One of them I don't actually like, but I'm almost finished with it. I'm really trying to pan this one because it is money. Like for most of the products you see here, I do pay for myself. I have a little bit of PR now, but this is almost finished. This is the D Bronzy Drops. I have to clean this one a little bit, so I'm sorry. My makeup does get a bit dirty because I do use it quite consistently. I won't repurchase this, but I'm very close to finishing. I want to say I'm over halfway, so I'm not going to declutter this. I'm going to finish it, and then I'm just not going to buy it anymore. Final one, so this is the Westman Atelier Super Loaded. This, it's like the Bronzy Drops, but a bit more, it's separated, as you can tell. It also doesn't smell like how it's supposed to. So I'm going to get rid of this because I just don't think it's good anymore. With clean beauty, sometimes things can go bad pretty quickly, and like I said, this one has been separating all the time. So, and it doesn't smell like that typical like citrusy smell that it has. I'm going to declutter this one. Let's move on to my foundations. So I am not a foundation wearer anymore. I'm not even a skin tint wearer anymore. So you're not gonna get a lot of products here. This is the Erborian CC Water. This is in the shade Doré. I quite like this one. It's very similar to the Chanel Le Beige Water Fresh tint. I recently panned that one, and I'm panning this one. I actually like the Chanel just a tad better. Even though Erborian is a brand that I want to explore a little more. This is a small size, and I'm almost finished with this, so I am panning this, and after that, I don't think you're going to see this in my collection anymore, but I'm very close to panning this. It's so, like, I think I have this much left. Then these are 2 favorites of mine. They were in my favorite videos. This is the Dior Forever Foundation Stick, and this is the Lisa Eldridge Enhancing Tint. The foundation stick I have in the shade 2.5N. Such a beautiful hydrating consistency. And then I have the Lisa Eldridge, which is more of a tint, kind of that serum-y texture. So definitely different. Also a little bit less neutral. The one from Lisa Eldridge is in T6, and this is 2.5 neutral. But I'm keeping both. I'm not a foundation wearer, but I like having them on hand for special occasions. For example, if you go to a wedding or a party, it's nice to pull out the Dior. And for every single day, if you want to just have a hydrating finish, the Lisa Eldridge is such a good one. So let's move on to correctors and concealers next. Zoom you guys in a little bit so you can see all of them in their full glory. I tried to categorize them a little bit while I'm talking about them. These are kind of peach tones under eye correctors. These two are also sort of correctors, but they are like liquid versions. These are true concealers in the sense of like your traditional concealers. This is a pencil concealer and these are stylos. So you definitely see that I am trying to get a formula right for me. So I'm experimenting with types of formulas to see which one suits me best. Let's first talk about the correctors. These are two correctors that I don't use a lot, and the one that I use the most out of the two is this one. This is by Ole Henriksen. This is the Banana Bright Vitamin C stick. It's sort of like an eye cream stick in one. You can tell that I'm using this quite a bit, and it is nice underneath the eyes. It's brightening. You don't really see it, so it doesn't come out this color when you start rubbing it in, and it helps my under eyes just look a bit better. If you are a no makeup person, so you really don't want to wear any makeup, but you just want to brighten the under eyes, this is actually a really good one for that one. And it's in stick form. This is one that is so expensive, but I don't actually use this anymore. So there's nothing wrong with the formula of this one. It's quite deep in comparison, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with the formula. It's just that this is a formula. A little goes a long way, and it's great if you want to do a full beat of makeup. You can wear this one. Unfortunately, I am a no makeup wearer. I feel like in the trend for 2025 for me is I'm going to be wearing less makeup, so I don't actually use this one. So maybe I can give this one away. It pains my heart a little bit because it's so expensive, but I just don't use it, and I feel so bad for it to just sit in my collection purely because it's expensive. So I might be able to give this to someone that has more use out of it. Then I have two sort of correctors, but they're creams. So this is Sarah Chapman Skin Assist. This is a repurchase of mine, and it comes out peach tones, as you can tell. And then this is also by Erborian. This is the CC Corrector in the shade Dore, and this comes out white, but they basically have the same function. I hope you guys can see what that looks like, but the Sarah Chapman one is more hydrating. It's really nice underneath the eyes, and it just corrects the under eyes a little bit. This is more of a skincare item, and it has SPF. It's quite nice, and a little goes a long way. You don't have to use a lot. It is quite expensive. I once got this with a gift with purchase, but I loved it so much I had to repurchase it. And then when I saw that the Erborian also had a similar item, since I'm kind of in this direction, I wanted to try the Erborian one, and for my oily under eyes, the Erborian one actually suits me better. The problem with this one is it has a shelf life of 3 months, so I typically don't like to recommend it, although it did end up in my favorites video because I use it so much. I'm going to keep both because this is kind of like the corner that I think I'm going to lean towards in 2025. So you might see a little bit more of experimentation with these type of correctors. Let's move on to concealers. Of course, the Westman Atelier concealer I really enjoy. It's part of my favorites video, and I review a lot of Westman Atelier, so I like to keep the brand on hand just so I can also do a full face of Westman Atelier. This runs quite yellow. I have the shade M1 if you want to see that on my skin, so right there. So I'm more neutral than this shade actually comes out with, but it is quite brightening, and this is more full coverage than all of the other ones you see in my collection. Another one that I like that is a little less hydrating and also a little less cakey, so this is a much thinner formula. You might not see it at first swatch, but this is by YSL. This is the All Hours. And maybe you can see that there is more body to the Westman Atelier than the All Hours one from YSL. YSL also leans a bit more neutral, but there's some rosy tones in it almost, but that one leans a bit more neutral, and it's quite beautiful. I actually really like this one. It kind of sometimes gets away from me because of all the other concealers I have, but it's such a beautiful concealer. I'm gonna keep it in my collection. I do think I can pan this one. But I'm more into stilos now. So I do have a YSL stilo as well. That's this one. This one's quite new in my collection. I used to have the full coverage one. This is more of a radiance concealer, I believe they call it. Also, a little brighter. And this is also a very sheer formulation. This is called the Radiant Touch, the Touche Eclat Radiant Touch. So I used to have the Touche Eclat High Cover, and this is the Radiant Touch. This is beautiful, lightweight, good amount of pigment. They perform very similarly, but I think this one is more hydrating. The All Hours one has a set down to its, so you don't have to powder it. Both of them, they do crease on me a little bit, but because they're so lightweight, if I use very little, it's great for your under eyes if you want to do a no makeup look. Very beautiful. I'm going to keep this one as well. This is new. I'm going to keep all my stilos. I would love to do a stilo video at some point. This is the Victoria Beckham, a little bit deeper in color. And this one is beautiful, pore blurring, very lightweight. You can actually see how pore blurring it is in texture. I don't know if it catches on camera, but this just erased all my little crevices on my hand. And then the Chantecaille, which is the most expensive one in my collection right now. Also a beautiful color. And all of these stilos, they're so lightweight in consistency. My under eye seems to really like them. This is in the shade, I want to say 4W, W4. So this is, and this is LM1 from Victoria Beckham Chantecaille W4. So here you see my concealers. The Westman Atelier, definitely the most cakey out of all of them and the most coverage. So this one is nice for a full face, like a full beat. But these four are nice for every single day with medium coverage all the way to, I want to say, a light coverage. The only one that could potentially like pan is this one by Jones Road. It's quite nice. I just prefer all the other formulas more, but this is more fun for the face. So I am going to keep it. One thing I don't like about it is I don't have a sharpener yet for it, so I have to buy a separate sharpener. I do think that when Jones Road sells these and they make it this thick, I think a sharpener should just be part of the package deal. Like that is my one criticism. So I'm going to keep this for now, but this might be here for a future declutter. Two concealers I almost forgot to talk about. This one is by Le Fille en Rouge. And this is also one that I kind of use as a foundation. This is by Faro Midi. I actually quite like these. And again, you see a trend with me where I'm trying different formulations. And I often have two or multiple of a certain concealer type. So multiple stilos, multiple correctors. And now you see multiple like palettes, like cream palettes. I like the Faro Midi much better. You see, I use this a lot. There's a significant amount of pan. There's nothing wrong with the Le Fille en Rouge. It's quite nice, and the fact that you have two colors makes it all year round like a better deal because you can kind of customize your shade. The shade Sable for Faro Midi and shade 2 for Le Fille en Rouge. This is much more hydrating, and since I am quite oily around my eye area, this can crease on me, whereas this one sits down much better. I'm going to keep both because both formulations are good. I just think that this Faro Midi one is like a love of mine, and this I just like. Let's talk powders, guys. I have 4 powders. I have one foundation powder that I don't know if I should keep. I'm going to keep this for one more declutter. So this is by the brand Oh My Cream. It's like a French company. Like you can buy a lot of French brands here. You can also buy Violette, but it's not available for the entire world. This is more for Europeans, and this is like an SPF 20 mineral powder in the shade medium. It is quite beautiful, but like I don't know if you can tell, but the package just broke. So the quality of this is kind of lacking here. It's a nice powder, but it kind of is very hydrating. So every time I use this, I actually am not powdering my face. I'm just adding a bit of color. This is better for the summer. It also has an SPF 20. It does like to hard pan, so I don't talk about this too much, but I'm keeping it for now. I don't think it will survive another declutter though. Then the 3 powders that I have in my collection, these are some of my favorite ones. I'm missing a powder now that I see this collection. I'm missing the Westman Atelier, so let's grab that one. So let's quickly go over what you see here. The Chantecaille powder, this is like the pore blurring powder or airbrush blur powder. What do you call this? This is the light medium perfect blur finishing powder. This was a previous favorite of mine a few years ago, and Chantecaille sent me this in PR, so it's nice to have in my collection. This is a great finishing powder, but not a great setting option. So this I use all over the face, and for setting, this is my favorite one by Charlotte Tilbury. I've purchased a few of these already, so every time mine is finished, I kind of burn through these quite quickly. So this is a relatively new one. I got this for Black Friday. This is the Westman Atelier powder. It's seen better days. This is all pan, so I'm just scraping the edges right now. And because it's so expensive and you cannot buy the refills, I'm like reluctant to finish this because I don't want to buy a new one. This one tends to hard pan. There's no talc in this, so it's a talc-free formula, but it tends to hard pan. So this is my talc-free recommendation because it is a beautiful powder, but it is a little bit tedious to work with. Also, I don't want to freak you guys out, but do you guys see the yellow staining over here? Oh my goodness. I am kind of freaking out about this. I might have to declutter this. Okay, sorry guys, I have to declutter this. I'm scared. So the final powder is this one. This is by Boots number 7. This is a drugstore powder that I used to take with me on holidays because all of the makeup I own is so expensive and I'm so paranoid. My son loves to play with this one. This is like the makeup I give to him when he wants to just like experiment. He doesn't experiment a lot with makeup, but he sees me putting on makeup and he wants to do it himself. So I'm kind of just like taking it out of my collection because it's now becoming a thing for my son more so than it is a part of my collection. So this is going to be decluttered as well. All right, let's talk mascaras. So this is not a mascara, this is an eye like lash bond. So I'm going to put this to the side. This is a repurchase of my Victoria Beckham Beauty Mascara. I got this on Black Friday as well. This is a beautiful tubing mascara. I haven't opened it yet because I'm trying to finish some of the mascaras I have, but this is a 3rd repurchase. This is a sample of the IT Cosmetics mascara. I did not like this, guys, so I'm going to declutter this one. Also got a sample from MAC. This is the MAC Stack. I've never tried this one. I hear good things, but I haven't opened it yet, so I'm going to keep this one. This Belia finishing stick, this is kind of for those flyaways. I don't use this anymore, so I'm going to get rid of this one. My mascaras keep on running away from me. So I have the Jones Road, the Lisa Eldridge, and the Lash Clash. These mascaras have served me well this year. I'm going to use them a few more months, and they probably won't last me till next declutter. So I'm going to keep them for now. Same goes for the Westman Atelier. This still performs okay, but this won't last me till next declutter because I don't want to put mascara on my eyes that is too old. But for right now, I think it's still okay. So I checked, and this is a year old. I checked my videos when I bought this, and I bought this to do a comparison review with Victoria Beckham Beauty, and that video is a year old. So I am ready to declutter this one. It's a clean beauty like brand as well. So yeah, it's unfortunate because it's quite an expensive mascara and I have to repurchase it. I didn't end up getting the Feta set, which is the one that I wanted, and also had this mascara on hand, but maybe next time they come around with a set I can get it in a smaller version because these are so expensive and I don't keep my mascaras for that long, so I'm quite upset about it. It's a nice mascara. It's not the best one, but it's very nice, especially because Westman Atelier didn't have a mascara that I liked, and this one I do like a lot, but I'm going to declutter it. Then final category is brow products. I have 2 clear brow products. I have 3 tinted brow products like gels, and I have 3 of these pencils. I actually am going to keep all. I use brow products a lot. I actually don't use mascara every day, but I do use brow products nearly every day. I rotate between the clear and all the other ones. So let me just show you guys what I have. I have the Westman Atelier, I have the Victoria Beckham Beauty, and my Gucci. The Gucci one is a proper pencil, like a powder pencil like system, and these other 2, they are more like your traditional brow pencils. This one is fine, very fine, small from Victoria Beckham Beauty. And the Westman Atelier is much larger, but both of these have really great formulas and are brands that I review a lot. Then for the tinted brow section, I have the Victoria Beckham Beauty one, which I really like. It's very thin in formula. I have the Charlotte Tilbury one, which I am finishing. I'm sure I'm panning this soon. And I have a brand called Eska. This is a Sephora Indonesia brand that I love as well, and I just don't use it for review. This is just a pure fun item for me, and this one is also near to finishing. The two clear ones I have are by Rare Beauty and Jones Road. I like the Rare Beauty one better. Let's organize the drawer a little bit so it all fits. So this is what I have so far. I kind of zoomed you out so you guys can see the entire drawer. It's still a lot of makeup, but it's much less cluttered, and I can see all of the products. There is some room for growth here and there, which is also nice. And this is, it reflects me as a person. I don't wear a lot of foundation, so you're going to see primarily primers. I wear a lot of concealer, so that's why the concealer section is very prominent. And I am rotating between all of my mascaras, so not all these mascaras are going to last, but I want to get some good use out of them because I did pay for all the mascaras. And here you have the brow products, which I'm slowly going through as well. I'm very happy with this collection. I think the only one that could potentially overwhelm me is the concealer section, but I'm having a really good concealer year, so I'm not mad at that. And this I find very doable for my brain. I got rid of 7 products in that drawer, which I am very pleased with. I know that's not a lot, but this is also a bit of a collection video. Moving on to my second drawer, this is my blush, bronzer, highlight drawer, and this is kind of what it looks like now. I used to have them like blushes all together, contours all together, and so, but now I like to kind of do it by brand. So here you have my Victoria Beckham Beauty section. This is my Chanel section. I actually have that primer. I always put it here because I like having them together. This is my Westman Atelier section. These are my liquid bronzers. This is my Westman Atelier section, and here are my powder formula, so powder highlights, powder blushes, powder bronzers. This is okay, but I can definitely tone it down a little bit, so let's get started with something that I'm just going to show, but I'm probably not going to declutter anything, and that is Victoria Beckham Beauty. So I have 2 blushes, 2 highlighters, and 2 contour sticks. The contour sticks are the ones that I'm burning through. This is as much as I have left in the shade Travertine. It's a beautiful product. And I also love the blush shade in the shade Playground. I use that one the most. So this is how much I've used. And this is such a beautiful bronzer tone. So again, having a resurgence with this one. I'm also very surprised that I'm starting to really enjoy this highlighter from them. This is the Reflect Highlighter in Pearl, and I have used a significant amount of this one as well. I have a lot of Victoria Beckham Beauty because this is the brand that I review the most, and therefore I'm keeping everything because I don't like all of the colors, or some of the colors are not really for me, like this Amber Reflect Highlighter, but I'm still keeping it for review. How about next we move on to blushes? So these are all my blushes, all, put together. It is okay for a makeup YouTuber, but at the same time, it is a lot. I don't use all of them anymore. So let's kind of go through it because I'm sure I can declutter a few of them. So let's isolate them first and talk about the liquid blushes first. All right, liquid blushes. I actually really am enjoying this category. Let's first take out the Chanel. So this one was actually part of my last year's declutter, or maybe like the previous declutter that I did mid-year, but I ended up getting it back because I couldn't stop thinking about it. I'm so happy I saved it because I forgot how much I love this one. You don't have to use a lot, but I'm about halfway. And yeah, this is such a good formula. I actually really like the Le Beige formula. So I don't know what I was thinking when I wanted to declutter this one. There is a trend with all of my blushes that I like this type of like bronzer color that I can use as kind of a rosy blush, but also a bronzer. I'm gonna keep that one for sure. I'm gonna put it to the side. Another one that I love is this one by Huda Beauty. This again, a little bit more of that bronzer shade. This is such a perfect color. A little bit harder to work with because it dries down, but I love this color so much. And you can definitely see that there's a trend here. This is actually a liquid highlighter from Dior, but I use it as a blush. Same family, and this is kind of the family that I am enjoying to be in. So these are definitely gonna stay. Now these three I use a bit less. I think the Lisa Eldridge one is beautiful on the skin. It is the deepest shade that they have. This one pulls a little bit more yellow, and this is great for in the summertime, and it's Lisa Eldridge, so I'm gonna keep this one, but it's not a all year round seasonal kind of thing for me, but it is a very beautiful formula, so I'm gonna keep it. The YSL is a beautiful formula. I don't hate it. I know there was a lot of controversy on TikTok with this one. I don't review YSL just to keep this one. This is very rosy in comparison to all of the other ones, so it is a nice formula. I just simply don't think I'll reach for this. I think the formula of some of the other ones is just a bit better. And this one is just not the color that I'm going for. It's pulling much rosier than all of the other ones. So I'm going to declutter this. I'm sure someone will love this one. The Rare Beauty one, you can't imagine. I don't know. This one has been weighing on my mind because I haven't been pulling for this. This is a beautiful color in the shade Virtue. Yeah. And it's a beautiful formula. You guys really know this formula as well. It's nice to compare things to, so I might keep it, but the color I'm not really gravitating towards anymore. It's about 1.5 years old, so I might keep it for one more declutter, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep this one for one more declutter, but yeah, it's on the chopping block. Let's look at cream blushes next. So I have two Westman Atelier creams. I still love this formula, guys. Because this is a clean beauty product, I actually gave away many of mine. I used to have all of them for review and everything, but I realized I was only pulling these two shades, the shades Chouchette and the shade Mimi. Unfortunately, with the shade Chouchette, it's the oldest one that I have, and it just smells bad. Something about it doesn't smell okay anymore, so I'm gonna declutter it. It pains my heart a little bit, but I still have Mimi to just pull me through, so I'm gonna keep this one. Then we have Violet FR's Bisou blush. This is like Mimi. One side is a brush and the other side is like Mimi from Westman Atelier. It's such a beautiful blush. It's like a marbled blush color, so it is a bit more glowy. So here you see the marbling at the side. This is beautiful. I still pull for this now and again. It's not my like go-to. The Jones Road Miracle Balm or Magic Balm. This is Miracle Balm, right? This is in the shade Bronze. So this is a similar shade as the Lisa Eldridge, but much more sheer. It's quite flattering. It is a little tacky, like it doesn't have a dry down at all, and it's quite new in my collection, but I don't know if I'm going to use it. I might put it in my lip collection and see if I maybe use this as a lip product, because I'm not really in for using this on the face. So here we have my powder blushes. I got two Dior, I got a Westman Atelier, I got a Chantecaille, I got a Suku, and an Hermes. I don't have too many, but like you can tell, I have a lot of blushes if you actually count my creams and my liquids as well. The Suku one I actually got out of the previous declutter as well. I loved it so much that I had a hard time decluttering it, but I haven't picked it up much since. So I'm gonna actually, this is a real declutter now. The Westman Atelier, you know what? I don't use this quite often. It's quite nice. I actually really like this. And I'm waiting for them to come out with this formula in the Coraline. This is the shade Petal. It is nice. I forget about this sometimes, I'll be honest with you. It's just a very nice packaging, nice formula. So I'm keeping it around for review purposes. There's no like actual real reason for me to declutter this. It's nice. The RMS. This is such a beautiful formula, and it kind of runs in that family what I'm liking right now. It might be a little bit too rosy. If you compare it to one that I love right now is this one by Dior. Oh. And the Dior one pulls way more brown than the RMS, but the RMS formula is just GOAT in my opinion, so I'm gonna keep this. This Dior, same formula. I like having them around, but I'll be honest, I haven't really pulled for this since I pull for these two more often. So I think I'm actually gonna declutter this one in the shade Rosewood. It's beautiful, but I don't want to keep something that is just gonna be a dust collector. I think I can make someone happy with this one. And then finally, in the shade Ray, my Chantecaille. This is sort of like a all face product. It's beautiful. It is in the same family as the Jones Road and the Lisa Aldrich. I still like this, and it has this name of my son, so I'm getting a little bit sentimental with this. I think it's gonna last me one more declutter. So these are all of my bronzers and contours. I love this category. When I say love, it means that when I look at this, I'm like, I don't want to declutter any of this. But let's first look at one that I will declutter, and I kept it in the box for that sake. I used it once, and that is the Dior new formulation, the contour stick. I used it once, but it's way too gray toned on me. So this one will find a new home because, yeah, I didn't want to just continue on using it. It's a great formula. I just got the wrong shade. But yeah, this one is going to be a declutter. I still love the contour stick from Westman Atelier. This is a perfect like contour stick with a bit of brown tones in there, like a bit of bronzer tones in there, which look great on my warm leaning skin. So I'm neutral warm leaning. So this looks much more natural on me. Keep this. And then of course my last cream, this is by Chanel. I love this formula. This is my favorite cream bronzer. This is great for in the summer, but this is very pore blurring, and I keep this one around. This is just nostalgic to me. I love this one. So I don't know if you caught that, but my bronzer, this one, kind of fell out. This is my powder bronzer collection, guys. I love this. I love them. I love them all. But let's first talk about this little daddy over here. So I hit pan on this one quite significantly, but unfortunately, since I've hit pan on it, I don't know if you can tell from the side, but a lot of air is being trapped underneath every single time I use this bronzer. Every single time it drops something. So it's decluttering, like it's cluttering my entire makeup collection. I love this formula. I still have so much left, but it's driving me up the wall insane. You cannot get this formulation anymore, like it's not available. And it's just drying out at the edges. So this seems to be great, like still the old formula. And down here, it just seems to be a little bit like drier. I think I have to just call time of death on this one. If this was the only bronzer in my collection, I would keep it and just continue on panning it and being okay with this one. Cost me a pretty penny. But because I have so many bronzers, I think I just need to stop being so sentimental with makeup. I have a rolling collection because I do review makeup. So I have to sometimes look at things also from a business perspective. I love this bronzer. It's my favorite one, I want to say, out of all of them as a true bronzer. But it's just not serving me. You cannot get this anymore. And it's just being such a drag. So I'm going to declutter it. It breaks my heart, truly. But a bronzer that is very similar in tone is this one by Le Fille en Rouge. And it doesn't have the same like effect. So this one is more like glowing on the skin. This is more mattifying. But in terms of tones, they're very similar. So I'm gonna declutter the Chanel and keep the Le Fille en Rouge. Okay, so let's look at all my other bronzers. The oldest bronzer in my collection is this one by Westman Atelier. And I don't know, guys. I don't know. To be honest, I might have to call time of death on this one as well. Something about this close up. Let me show you guys. I don't know if you guys can see this. Something about this close up. I see like little specks on top of it. And I have a feeling it's just time to go. Let me smell it. I don't know if I want to put this on the face. It's just, it's giving me a little bit of heebie-jeebies. It's the oldest one in my collection. I think I just have to call time of death. This seems not okay to the sides, but I have used this quite a bit. How are these pieces still here? Okay, my two favorite bronzers of this year. These are new this year, so I'm keeping both. This is the Dior Durissimo Contour and Glow. Like, it's called like blush experience contour and glow, whatever. This is a great contour shade. It's a baked formula, very pretty. I like that it comes in a face palette, so I can travel with this one. It's just very beautiful. And this is a true beautiful powder bronzer. Beautiful formula, luxury formula, easy to work with, easy to pick up. Great color because it's neutral leaning. So I love this one. I love them both. Keep both. And of course, my Victoria Beckham Beauty formula is still holding up like a champ. Good amount of pan on here. I still love this one. It's not my favorite anymore, but I still love this one. And of course, I review a lot of Victoria Beckham Beauty, so keeping this one. Moving on to highlighters. These are all of my highlighters. Let's take a look-see. So I got two powder highlighters. I don't really use highlighters anymore that much. If I'm going to use a highlighter, it's probably going to be more of a blush highlighter. Both of these are great. Honestly, this one is the oldest one by Le Bouge Rouge. I have to declutter this one. I just have to call time of death on some of these clean beauty products. The favorite one of all time is this one, the Camellia Highlighter by Chanel. I still use this one a lot. I don't want to say weekly, but maybe bi-weekly I still use this one. I've used this one quite a bit. Like the Camellia is completely like destroyed. Love this. Probably my favorite formulation in terms of a highlighter. Love, love, love. So definitely keeping that one. Decluttering this one, but I'm keeping the compact because it's refillable and I got mine engraved. Okay, so all of these are Westman Atelier highlighters. We have the super loaded tinted formula, which is my favorite highlighter formula in terms of creams, and you have the lit up highlight stick. I don't ever use this. This is in the shade Biscuit, beautiful shade. I just simply prefer the Victoria Beckham Beauty formulation in terms of stick, more so than the Westman Atelier. The Westman Atelier makes me look like an oil slick. So I'm going to declutter this. Someone else is going to enjoy this one. And of course, the super loaded, I love. I'm going to keep all of them. And let's make this drawer look beautiful again. Let's zoom you guys out a little bit. So this is kind of what it looks like now. I am happy with how this turned out. There's definitely a lot of wiggle room here. We still have my Chanel. We still have my Victoria Beckham Beauty. There's a lot more space for the Westman Atelier section. These are all of the blushes that I've currently been enjoying. The only one on the chopping block truly is the Rare Beauty one. These are my powder bronzers. I have one highlighter left, and of course my powder blushes. That the one on the chopping block is probably the Chantecaille. These are my Westman Atelier and one Violette of R. This one is very close to Mimi, so I like to keep them together so I remember to rotate them. And this is much better. I'm very happy with this one. Let's see how much we decluttered in this drawer. 10 items that are leaving this drawer. One of them potentially going to another drawer, the Jones Road. But some of these are getting new homes and some of these just need to be thrown out. So my final drawer also had eyeshadow palettes. Of course, I did my palettes another time, like I did it in a different video. So you can check out that video after you watch this one if you like declutters. So I'm just going to focus on my single shadows. This is my prized possession. This is where my sentimental value comes in. I struggle decluttering anything that has to do with single eyeshadows because there's like a fantasy self. Who always says that? A fantasy self? What are Kelly Gooch? What is that her name? She always talks about in her declutter. She talks about her fantasy self, and I have that too when it comes to eyeshadows, single shadows in particular. So this is going to be a hard one for me. I don't know if I'm going to declutter a lot, but let's get crack-a-lackin'. I want to first start with liquid eyeshadows because I have to be a little bit more mindful with my eyes. Liquid eyeshadows, they just go bad the fastest. So these are all my liquid eyeshadows. Let's bring you on closer so you guys can see the beauty of them. I love them. I do. Oh my God. Here's the thing. Some of these I've had for quite a bit, and I was smelling like the first ones from Lisa Eldridge. This one, for example, already, I think she even discontinued this shade, but look at that. Look how that looks. That doesn't look okay, nor does it smell okay. This one smells like clay. So anything from this first collection, so Lauren, Bianca, Liza, Angelica, my favorite one. This is Diana. Yes, this is the first collection. I have to declutter this one. All of them smell bad. They are just expired. And I did get some good use out of them, but they have lost their whatever integrity. I don't dare to put these on my skin anymore. I might want to do a last hurrah with them in terms of swatches, but yeah, these are not going on the eyes anymore. Declutter. Let's look at more Lisa Aldrich, and let's look at the other collection that she came out with. Oh, Zora is also part of that collection. That needs to be decluttered as well. Then after that, she came out with like multiple colors, and I got 2 colors at the time. I got the shade Emily, which is my favorite one. I clearly had love with this one. This one smells a little bit less than the other ones, but still smells a lot. Even the integrity, like I said, sometimes you see the integrity is just gone. It's gone a little weird, like a little thicky. So I don't dare to use these ones anymore, but I would repurchase Emily. The time is right. So I'm gonna declutter Zora, Anais, and Emily. And I'm definitely gonna declutter this one, Viola, from the last collection that she has from these liquid lyric shadows, simply because I don't use this one. I believe she discontinued this shade. So for now, I am keeping these. These are the 3 silk shadows. They're new from Lisa Aldrich. And I'm keeping Cressida, and Titania, because those are the newest ones from the Twinkling, or the liquid lyric shadows. So I'm gonna keep 5. Then same issue I have with the Violette paints. These 2, quite old. These are little goes a long way. These look much better, but they smell like clay. So I'm gonna declutter To Do, and I'm gonna declutter, what is this one? Marron Glaze. Then last year, I purchased the 2 purple ones. I actually used them this year still, but I opened them up for showing you guys some of the swatches that I have in my favorites video. And when I opened these 2, I was freaking out because I think that they have gone bad, which kind of pains me, but it makes sense. Liquid shadows, they go bad pretty fast. If they're a year old and they're quite clean of a formula, it just makes sense. It pains me a lot because I really enjoyed having these color in my collection. Of course, I can always repurchase, but I want this to be a moment where I tell myself, stop purchasing a lot of these liquid shadows because it's just a waste of money. It's nice for review, but I just feel bad like that I got so much product that has kind of like gone to waste, but I have to declutter these 2 as well. The 2 newest ones in my collection are the blue one. I can't read this. What is this? Noir Nuit, Ciel de Nuit. This is such a beautiful shade for dark brown eyes. And this is the newest one she came out with. This is the shade, I don't know. I can't read this, guys. Cafe Sierra, something like that. This is like that eyeliner shade from Lisa Aldrich in, oh, what is that called again? We'll get to that a little bit later, but it's in liquid form. I'm gonna keep these 2. They're liquid formulas that I have. One of them is Rare Beauty. This is the eyeshadow primer. I don't like this, so I'm gonna, say no to those. These from Pat McGrath are beautiful, but they're like the same as the Lisa Aldrich ones. And ooh, like you can tell, these have dried out, so I'm gonna have to declutter these 2 as well. I love this one. This is currently my favorite. I wanna say the best liquid shadow that I have in my collection. Only one. This is 22M. And I have a short on this that's currently doing the best. So if you go to shorts, you go to popular, you're gonna probably find this one, and you're gonna see how this wears on me. Beautiful. And I wanna keep this one for my fantasy self, the Roban. Such a beautiful color. Okay, let me just swatch it, because this one I barely use, and I think it's still good. But oh my god, I like my fantasy self likes this so much because you can build it up and it looks so beautiful. But I just never wear this. Oh, it pains me so much because it's so sickening. Yeah, fantasy self needs to calm down, and I just need to declutter it. I think I could still give this to someone that will like this. Here are my stick shadows, another problematic area, but a lot of these are from Victoria Beckham Beauty, so I use these for a review. Oh, this is a Pat McGrath. Let me put you here. Yeah, let me just swatch all of them. So I'm keeping all of them, but here you have all the shades, all the mattes, all the metallics down here. And there's a nice range of shades. My favorite ones, of course, are going to be on the neutral side of things. But I'm keeping all of them. It's a good formula if you have oily eyelids. The only con I have with them is that if you don't close them properly, so actually here, the click here, then they can dry out. And some of mine, unfortunately, have. I know it's a user error, but, you know, it's just a bit of a con. I wish the system was just easier. I still have the Rare Beauty ones as well. I like this formula as well. So these are the Rare Beauty ones. They're all like pretty high pigment metallics, a bit more shiny than the Victoria Beckham Beauty ones, and very wearable shades. I quite like this formula. It's a little bit more creasy on me, so I have to prep my eye a bit more when I use these. And this shade is probably the one I use the most, Contentment. So I'm gonna keep them for now. I don't use them a lot for my channel, but on its own, very nice. Then I have this Pat McGrath. This is like a glue for your eyeshadows if you wear, it's like transparent. So only if you wear something like loose pigments, you can wear this. This is nice for like the Blitz Astral shades from Pat McGrath, for example, or the Bobbi Brown, those Luxe shadows. I have one right here. This one also kind of can go everywhere, but if you put that on the Pat McGrath, it just stays on. And you don't have to worry about any of the glitters moving away from you. So that's why I keep this one around. Then this one, I went in thinking this is gonna be declutter, but my fantasy self won't let me because this is high shine, high glitter, beautiful color. It's so sickening, like compared to all the other ones. Look at that. Ah, I can't. This is from KVD. These are the Dazzle Sticks. This is the, what is this called? Moon Surge, Hail Surge. Sickening, sickening. So my fantasy self wants to keep this one. All right, here are my cream eyeshadows. I had to wash my hands. Oh, and this is sort of like a powder, but these are like the pots that I have. Additionally, I also have the Westman Atelier, but I already talked about these in my palette declutter, so I'm gonna keep the Westman Atelier. Of course, it's just gonna be right over here in the drawer. But these are all of my Victoria Beckham Beauty. They're not going to go anywhere. I just swatched all of my stick shadows, and swatching just takes so much time. The two shades that are discontinued are Blonde and Onyx. These are discontinued shades, so technically I could get rid of these, but again, I just don't want to. I'm not ready to declutter these right now. I love having the full collection, so I'm keeping both. I'm keeping all. Like, I love having all the shades. It's just something about it. The completionist in me enjoys it so much. So let's quickly go through them. This is the shade Midnight, Emerald, Mirror, Mink, Pantone, new shade, Velvet, Starlight, Honey, Chiffon, Tea Rose. Then additionally, I have a shade from Merit. Merit is impossible to get here in the Netherlands. They got me this in PR, and I had someone from England bring it to me to the Netherlands. So here we have the shade Mid-Century. They got me two shades, but this is the one that I use the most. Then the shade Ray. Anything that's named Ray is a hard thing for me to declutter, but this Hourglass shade is still one of my favorite eyeshadows. This is a Reflect eyeshadow, or is that what they're called? Right? Oh, Scattered Light. This is Scattered Light Glitter Shadow in the shade Ray. Charlotte Tilbury. Ugh, you know what? I've used this a ton. Loved it. But I think it's just time to go. Like, I've had this one for 2 years now. I don't even really review this brand anymore. It's still quite okay. So part of me is like, I could keep this. But you know what? In the spirit of let's not keep too many of these creams, I'm going to declutter this. And I love this eyeshadow by Chanel. This is the shade Undertone. It's still good. I actually use this one quite a bit. Powder eyeshadows. I don't have that many anymore, but let's first talk about the Dior. This is, I think, one of the older ones. This is the old formula, so I can't even use this without me freaking out about the formula because it's not the same anymore. I'm ready to declutter this one. I still actually love this Chanel Loose Pigments. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but this shade really just does it for me. It's like my lid, but more beautiful. It's underwhelming and in the best way possible. Bobbi Brown, you already saw me swatch this and demo this. Of course, I'm gonna keep this one. I love this one. I use this one a lot, so you see I'm having a moment with this one. Urban Decay Moon Shadow. This is like just OG great, you know? Everybody needs to have this in their collection. Beautiful scattered. And a favorite of mine of this year by Jones Road. I did not think I was gonna love this as much as I do, but stunning. This is such a stunning shadow. Keeping this one as well. These are all of my eyeliners. These are just, it's quite insane. But that's because this section over here, all of these, that's the entire Victoria Beckham Beauty eyeliner collection. Oh, I see a Lisa Eldridge straggler right here. Yeah, this is all Victoria Beckham Beauty. These are all of the eyeliners that she has. Another straggler. Oh. So yeah, this is all Victoria Beckham Beauty. And you definitely see which one I use the most. I love having the entire collection together with the brightening pencil. I just don't feel like swatching these. So I'm not going to swatch them. I might have to do an updated like video on them, but I'm going to keep all of them since I actually use them all the time. And they're for creative purposes. It's simply fun to have the entire collection, so I'm going to keep all. So let's look at some of the other ones that I have. We can zoom you back in again. So here we have a Chanel. You know, this is a good formula for in the waterline. I like this one. I sometimes forget it, but it's quite expensive. So I'm gonna keep it around, and I'm gonna maybe give all of these eyeliners that are not Victoria Beckham Beauty a different place so I can actually reach for them, because right now the Victoria Beckham Beauty are so prominent in my collection. It's really hard to find them. This one is by KVD. This one is old, so I'm ready to declutter this one. What other liquid liners? MAC liquid liner, Esca, and Lisa Eldridge. I'm going to keep all three of these. These are still okay. Esca is a Sephora Indonesia brand. Lisa Eldridge, this is part of my favorite videos. And this is actually a holy grail of mine. You don't see this one a lot in my collection or in my videos, but this one I have been using since, not specifically this one, but this formula I've been using since 2015. We got two hourglass ones. I like these. I forgot about them a little bit. Like I said, I think I'm going to give all of these other liners a different placement in my collection because they're kind of buried underneath all the Victoria Beckham Beauty ones, so, but I'm keeping these. I love the Westman Atelier one. I'm not in love with this formula from Lisa Eldridge. I also did not know I had four, but the shade that I wanted to talk about that I was reminded of is this burnt umber shade. This one, I think they look so similar. So burnt umber. Oh no, this is more like a chestnut, whereas this one is more red. But I do like these type of shades. See, they're quite similar. I do like these type of shades on me, especially if you don't want to go all black. These are beautiful. This is my favorite one of the entire Lisa Eldridge collection. So this is the Violette FRU Paint, the latte one. Very nice. I like both of these colors. Then what else do I have Lisa Eldridge? I have this one, sort of a gray. What is this called? Cinder Smoke. This is, what, smoky quartz or something like that? Renaissance Gold. And I bet I have just a normal brown as well, somewhere. Ground Coffee. That sounds like a proper brown. I need to sharpen this one. A little bit too emollient for me. They're very close to the Victoria Beckham Beauty formula, but they're a bit emollient. But I'm going to keep all of them since I review a lot of Lisa Eldridge. So this is what the drawers look like now. So we have this section with my liquids, my pencils, and my powder shadow. Then this little section has all of my eyeliners from Victoria Beckham Beauty on one side, all of my potted shadows, and one loose shadow. I keep these together, the Chanel ones, because I actually like using them together. And these are all of my non-Victoria Beckham Beauty eyeliners. I'm hoping to get more use out of them because they're not as like, you know, like they're not buried underneath this entire pile. But this I like. And from this drawer, I got rid of 20 items, which I know I think I did so much better than I expected. It's sad to see, but like, let this be a lesson. Don't buy too many liquid eyeshadows. I'm mainly talking to myself. I'm gonna try to do better with this one. Pulling through, final category is lips. These are all of my lip products, and I wanted to really do better this year. I don't know if I did any better. I used to have 2 gondolas like these filled, but I need to go through these. It's way too much for me. I like lip balms, so I'm probably gonna focus more on the lip balm section, but let's go through all. These are all of my lipsticks and lipstick palettes. It's hard to keep them all in frame, but here you are. Way too many, of course. I do think I can declutter some, but I'm not going to declutter this just for the sake of decluttering. So let's go on and see the smell test of them. My Le Bouge Rouge. Yeah, this one definitely needs to go. Again, a clean formula. This is such a beautiful lipstick. I wish I used it more, but this one needs to go. And I'm gonna keep the case. Lisa Eldridge. Keeping Velvet Sorcery. Velvet Sorcery is okay. Anything that I bought after that should be okay as well. Velvet Affair, one of my favorite ones. Velvet Muse, let's smell this. Still smells fine. Keeping Velvet Fawn. Meet Me in Berlin, Luxuriously Lucent. This one, this is an oldie. Still smells fine, Cinnabar. I'm gonna keep it for now, but you know, it's getting up there in years. I wanna say 2.5 years old. Then this one, Dragon as well, 2.5 years old, same as Velvet. Cinnabar, I like Cinnabar much better than Dragon. Dragon is a beautiful color, but it's just a little bit too bold for my taste. So, not many declutters. New, the Rouge Experience, of course I'm keeping this one, refillable packaging. Westman Atelier, also new, keeping this one of course. Also by Westman Atelier, a lip palette. This one I have to declutter, it's just not good anymore. This is limited edition, beautiful, but unfortunately a no-go. Then I have a lip palette by Faro Midi. Not my favorite, but I'm keeping it for now. Hindash. This one still smells okay, but I don't know. I think it's time. I got these in PR from Queen Musia. I haven't used them a lot yet, but I want to keep in my collection. I want to use these. I love this kind of twisted, you know, packaging. Beautiful. My favorite Dior ones, keeping both. 717 Patchwork. Beautiful. My favorite one. I get complimented on this one all the time. And this one I don't use that much, but you know, keeping because beautiful refillable case. Love this formula. Let's say these are all of my lip balms. I really like lip balms. I pull for the lip balm formulations often more often than not. I really like the Summer Friday one, so I'm gonna keep both Summer Fridays. Stones Road is kind of meh, like mid-road for me, so I think I can give this another home. Remedy I've been liking for at nighttime. My U Beauty one is somewhere as well. I use these to hydrate my lips, like an actual lip treatment. So I'm keeping the Remedy one. This one was sent to me in PR. Victoria Beckham Beauty Posh balms. Yeah, you've seen these in review, so I won't talk about them too much, but I'm keeping. Candy Glaze, another favorite of mine, keeping. Keeping the Dior Lip Glow. Lisa Eldridge came out with these 2 lip balms, or came out with this lip balm formula. What is this called? I forgot what these are called. This one smells like absolute garbage. I'm going to declutter this one, Sweet Fig. Keeping one of them, the Cassis one. I completely forgot I owned this one. This is by Surratt. This needs to have another home. Maybe my mom would like it. Oh, the MAC. I want to say I love this one, but I don't. The thing about this one is it's just so soft. You can't do anything with this one. Maybe I can give this to someone else. Oh, Chanel. I didn't know if I had to put this in lipstick or lip balm, but I'm keeping this shade Boy. A new one in my collection from Violet FR. Haven't shown this one on my channel just yet, but keeping new. Pure Wise Clear Lip Balm Refillable. Smells fine, but you know, this is a like biological clean, super clean formula, so I have to really keep my eye on this one. And here we have the Jones Road, which I'm gonna add in the lip section, seeing if I can make it a lip balm. If I don't want to make it a lip balm, it won't last in our declutter. This is lip oil and some lip glosses, because I feel like we can narrow these down. I love lip oils. I love lip balms, lip oils, anything that's hydrating on the lips. I'm here for it. So we're purely gonna see which ones haven't gone bad. Dior, love this one. Keep Summer Fridays, not a big fan. Like, it's a like, but not a love. Gisou lip oil. Actually, I like this one. I won't repurchase it. This is a repurchase already, but I won't repurchase it again. But my lips love it. Hate this Le Fille Rouge one. This is gonna go for to another home. Travel versions of the Clarins lip oil. Love them still. They're still fine. I checked them yesterday. Let's check the Vive one, if that is still okay. The Lip Dew. I quite like the Lip Dew, but she's spelling a bit weird. So, yeah, gotta go. Oh, the Merit Clean Beauty. Oh, that is not good. This one smells like clay. It's so sad. I'm like not even halfway. Beautiful. I can't get this in the Netherlands, so I hate seeing Merit go, but it's gotta go. The Rare Beauty lip oils, they're kind of more like lip tints. I keep these around, but like they're so close to finishing, and I don't know. Like, one of them smells a bit off, but that's because I think I'm just so close to finishing them. I have to just put these in a project pan, but I'm keeping for now. My Lisa Eldridge, I'm of course keeping. These have a pretty good shelf life, so they shouldn't be expired. Smells okay. I'm keeping all of these. Chantecaille sent me this in PR, so this is relatively new. Keeping. And I got a mini Dior. Look how cute this is. Oh my god. Keeping. Final category is going to be liquid lips and lipsticks and stuff. Let's zoom you in. Right, so liquid lips. I got a Fenty one that I just don't use. The shade is so vibrant. It's nice for the springtime, but I don't use vibrant shades like this. I'm ready for it to go. Keep this one around because it's Victoria Beckham Beauty, but it's not my favorite formula. This is the Bidden Lip Tint. It's okay. Then we have this one by Le Fille Rouge. Beautiful, but this one does smell like crayon a bit, so unfortunately gotta go. We have the Lisa Eldridge Velveteen. I like the Violet FR actually better in terms of lip. What are these? Liquid lips? But I'm keeping both of them in my collection. Right. Final category, lip liners. I love lip liners. They don't take up a lot of room, so I typically don't declutter them. I just sharpen them until they are not sharpened anymore. Favorite video, Farrow Midi lip liners, keeping both. Oh, I have one of the Charlotte Tilbury ones. This is probably the oldest lip liner that I have. Still smells fine. I forgot about this one. I got the new formula from Lisa Eldridge. Love these. These were also my favorite video. The older formula of Lisa Eldridge, love these. They complement a lot of my lipsticks from Lisa Eldridge. Then we have a Chanel one that I love as well. This is a very famous color in the shade Brune, Rose Brune or something like that. Nude Brune. Yeah, I need to sharpen this one. There's a lip brush on one side and I have to sharpen this. I have to sharpen a lot of these. This one's almost finished. I have to really project pan this one or something. I don't know. I have to remember using this. This is all I have left. So, yeah, I'm close to decluttering this one purely for panning it, but keeping it for now. Then we have, oh my god, another Surratt thing that I completely forgot I had. I hope to use this one. I'm gonna keep this. Oh, my favorite Tower 28 one. This is in the shade Work of Art. Yeah. I'm keeping all my lip liners. I see this. So my Victoria Beckham Beauty one is the smallest one. I only have one. I should probably get another one, but I keep this one. I quite like it. I like it more now than I did when I purchased it. This is the Definer 2. And I have a Vive one and a Hindash one. These are quite peach toned, and I use them interchangeably. So they're like as large, like, you know what I mean? Like the size is the complete same, simply because I use one or the other depending on if I have to sharpen them or not. Like both of them, keep both of them because they have the same purpose. So this is just what it's gonna be. My lip liners, all of them in one gondola. A lip palette that just is inconveniently like situated, same as this one, the Jones Road one. And this is gonna go to the bathroom because I like to use this in the bathroom area. And I'm decluttering 12 items of my lip collection, which I think is completely acceptable. 2 baskets are everything that I am decluttering. I think I did a pretty good job. I know this is going to be a long video, but I hope you guys like the longer style video. I downgraded this year from 4 drawers to 3 drawers. I would like to downgrade again because I am going to focus a little bit more on skincare just because that's what my preferences kind of lay, but you don't know where the winds take me. Sometimes all of a sudden you get a surge of like wanting to use makeup. I do see my YouTube channel kind of as a business as well, so don't emulate me. I'm not promoting overconsumption. However, I do want to thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you guys like this. Please thumbs it up if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you like the brands that you saw in my collection video, because these are the brands that I like to focus on. I like to focus on luxury beauty. I like to go in the niche sections as well. And of course, I hope you guys have a beautiful, like, happy holiday season, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!